Greetings. It's Annie, your faithful companion, once again lighting up your screens with another word. Before we start, I must make a heartfelt thank you to Todd T, Stella Chandler, Thomas O'Donnell, Adet100, Neil Parker, Chris Abbis, and William Kane for their generous super chat donations on my channel. I apologize if I wasn't able to mention everyone. Your support is truly appreciated. Please remember, each one of you is deeply cherished and loved. Now, let's dive into the message. Today, when I peeled open my eyes to welcome the new day, there was something uniquely special in the air. Every morning I wake up, and I'm embraced by a certain kind of warmth, a feeling of blessedness that wraps around me like a soft quilt. But this particular morning, there was a sprinkle of something more. It was like an extra dose of grace that filled the air, a sweetness that tingled my senses and whispered into my heart, a rare gift. Hence, that's the theme of our discussion today. Let it be known to you that God's message to us today is simply this: you are a rare gift. God wanted me to share this with you. And here's the thing, God expressed his pride in you. Now keep in mind, this message isn't a one-size-fits-all. Not every divine revelation will resonate with everyone. Yet I believe you'll recognize if this one is meant for you. God is profoundly proud of you. He takes pride in your ability to refrain from seeking vengeance or stooping down to the level of those who hurt you. His heart swells with pride when he sees you persistently marching forward, pushing through the storms, and coming out stronger on the other side. He acknowledges the grace with which you walk your path, eyes forward, leaving the past where it belongs. But what he's most proud of, what truly moves him, is your unyielding spirit of compassion. You see, you have been continuously praying, not just for your well-being, but also for the very people who wronged you. You've been praying for your friends and for your enemies. You've been asking God to forgive those who have trespassed against you. And in this, you demonstrate the strength of your spirit, the depth of your forgiveness, and the breadth of your love. And God wants you to know he sees you. He sees all that you are and all that you do. The warmth of your prayers and the purity of your heart do not go unnoticed. He sees it all, and he is touched by it, touched by you. He sees you as his rare gift, beautifully and wonderfully made. So as we continue our individual and collective journeys, let's embrace this divine message. Let's remember that we are each a rare gift, cherished by God, and that each day offers us an opportunity to mirror his grace and love. As I awoke this morning, an awakening of the soul unfolded, where I found myself conversing with God. The Almighty spoke of a prophecy that would soon come to pass. In the rapidly changing landscape of this year, 2023, it was revealed to me that there would be a multitude of individuals whose minds would be filled with a deep sense of regret. They would lament the ways they had treated you, their hearts heavy with the realization of their past actions. These people, God told me, would long for an opportunity to rewrite their past with you. A sudden yearning would consume them, driving them to seek you out, to engage in discourse, to iron out wrinkles left by past wrongs, or perhaps to extend a hand of remorse for the harshness they once inflicted upon you. You, my friend, like Joseph of the biblical tale, will be thrust into a pivotal role of grace and forgiveness. You see, God confided, you have undergone a transformative journey of healing. Your heart has been mended, and your spirit has been pruned through the challenges of this season. As a result, you have emerged stronger and more compassionate. You've been prepared for this moment. God requests that you open your arms to these people. Refrain from dismissing them. Instead, welcome them into the folds of your understanding. When this revelation first found me, I must confess, my initial reaction was one of incredulity. God, I murmured, shaking my head, that seems nearly impossible. It feels strange. Yet the divine voice was gentle yet firm, reminding me that we are, after all, extensions of God's grace on earth. We are tasked with mirroring God's boundless love and forgiveness, embracing others as God has embraced us. However, It's essential to note that God's message was not one asking for unnecessary compromise or a complete breakdown of personal boundaries. You are not being asked to reintegrate these individuals fully into your life. You aren't expected to rip open the doors of your personal sanctuary to them or rekindle a friendship that may have withered long ago. God, in His wisdom, advised discernment. "You will know them by their fruit," He said. If they are truly meant to grace your life once more, their transformations will be evident. They will bear the fruit of growth and change, and you shall recognize it. God confirmed that a tide of faces would re-emerge from your past, eager to reconcile. Some of these individuals will have been sculpted anew through self-reflection and personal growth. These are the ones you should pay special attention to. Test their spirits, examine their motives and the changes they profess. Be prepared, my friend, for this forthcoming wave. You have been healed, made whole, and strengthened by the Almighty. As His representative on earth, you are encouraged to offer the grace of reception, to extend a hand of understanding. Yet also remember to protect your peace, maintain your boundaries, and seek the discernment to recognize true change. For many will seek to re-enter your life, and the discernment you exercise will determine the nature of the fruit they bear. Empower your judgment, as you'll find people returning to your life, drawn in by the growth they perceive within you. They witness the paths that God is charting for your life in this season of evolution. Often, as I mention, individuals yearn to be linked with you as they perceive the divine radiance you emit. They want this connection because they discern where God is guiding you. Paradoxically, there are instances where others discern this luminosity within us, the divine spark that inflames our souls before we ourselves recognize its brilliance. Almost always, if not always, this phenomenon evokes within me a complex emotional dichotomy. It's a paradox of love and dislike. It confounds me, yet at the same time, I appreciate it, as it acts as a grounding force, reminding us of our humility. It keeps us tethered to God, anchoring us in the knowledge that our strength, power, and favor do not spring from us, but emanate from God Himself. So here's the message. God desired me to be the bearer of this simple yet profound reminder that you are a unique blessing. You, my friend, are an exceptional blessing. The weight that God has put you through, the trials and tribulations, are not without purpose. Remember, in His eyes, you are invaluable. He cherishes you, fiercely protecting you, and ensuring that you don't just find yourself in the company of any individual. His protection extends to your circle of connection. Because you are an exceptional blessing, a priceless gem, a diamond of the first order, He has prevented you from sharing the same air as certain individuals. In this season of your life, He has distanced certain individuals from your orbit, refusing to allow them to reconnect with you. His reason? He was shielding you, enveloping you in a cloak of divine protection. This scenario brings to mind the biblical tale of Job. When Satan demanded Job's life, God had a protective barrier around him. As I pondered Job's trials, when Satan presented himself to God, challenging him, I realized that the core of the argument lay in Satan's inability to reach Job. It was as if Satan were declaring to God, "You've created an impenetrable barrier of protection around Job." The enemy's futile efforts to pierce through the divine shield of protection surrounding Job is a potent illustration of the lengths God goes to protect us. The narrative reaffirms our faith in God's unfailing vigilance over us. It reminds us that even when we are oblivious to the light within us, He ensures that the darkness is kept at bay. This should strengthen our resolve, knowing that our struggles, no matter how profound, are observed and mitigated by God. It instills in us the belief that we are precious in His sight, that He values our lives and well-being to the extent of providing us a shield against the unseen adversaries. So, remember this always. You are not just a cog in the wheel of life. You are a unique blessing, a diamond that has undergone the pressures of life to emerge radiant, an emblem of strength and resilience. God does not allow you to weather the storms of life for nothing. The paths he guides you on are not without purpose, and the people he allows in your life are not without reason. He is ever vigilant, ever protective, wrapping you in his divine care, akin to the protective shield around Job. So, as you navigate through life, let these words serve as a constant reminder of your divine protection and your unique worth in the eyes of God. Amid the trials and tribulations, amid the joys and celebrations, remember that you are a diamond in the rough, being constantly shaped and polished by God. In his eyes, you are precious, and your journey is divinely guided. Job was encircled by a protective hedge, the shield against the enemy's onslaught. Not for lack of trying, mind you. For the enemy, the adversary, attempted to shatter Job, to extinguish his life, to hurl torrents of turmoil his way. But there are things, my friend, things that God simply refuses to allow to breach his wall, to invade your existence. Envision the all-encompassing hedge of protection that embraces you, holding you steadfast in God's sanctuary. This divine bulwark is more than just your guard. It is the confirmation of God's unwavering presence in your life. It's an affirmation that there are challenges that were permitted to cross your path, obstacles that were allowed to ripple the calm waters of your existence. And yet, each one has led you to this very moment of reflection. This array of challenges, though they seemed insurmountable, were never aimless. They forged your purpose, stoked your self-love, and honed your trust in yourself, and more importantly, in God. They became the foundation stones of a bond that is solid and unwavering between you and God. Remember this: there is a multitude of adversities that you were spared from, attacks that were designed to unravel you. Yet these attempts have been thwarted. You have triumphed. The enemy wanted to drag you back to the labyrinth of trials you've already conquered, you've already graduated from. Yet the hedge of God's protection encompassed you. The divine reassurance of Jesus' blood kept you covered, kept you secure. Know that you are cherished in the eyes of God, as dear as Ruth was to him, as beloved as Ruth was to Boaz. In this season of your life, expect people to recognize the uniqueness of your being, the rare gem that you are. They will see you in the divine light, as the person God has ordained you to be. The battle to prove your worthiness won't be yours to wage. It will be God's fight, and God never loses a fight. God promises to reveal to them their error in judgment, to demonstrate that your greatness was always evident, always present. He promises to lift the veil from the eyes of those who undervalued you. Hear this truth, embrace it, let it strengthen your spirit. Let these words of comfort and strength resound in your heart. Take them to God, hold them in prayer. Know that you are cherished, that you are a rare and precious gift. Until we meet again in our next shared wisdom session, stay blessed and protected. Feel the warmth of God's love surrounding you. Farewell for now. Like the video and type Amen if you trust in the Lord. Click the link in the description to discover a limited-time special offer on a life-altering technique designed to help you manifest God's blessings.